Hey, this is Coach Booth. Booth's B-Ball Breakdown. Let's talk NBA today. I'm not going to look at the camera too much. I am driving, so shouldn't be doing this. But I'm going to just give you some insight. It's on my heart while I'm moving through the highway. Listen, the NBA, lots going on. This is probably the most free agent activity I've ever seen in my many years of watching basketball, following the NBA. I personally think it's exciting. It's the first sign that I see where the players are actually controlling their destiny. Typically, the NBA owners control their destiny. I think the NBA Players Association collective bargaining agreement has now positioned players to be able to kind of talk to each other, maneuver and move to different cities, to put themselves in the best situation. Kudos to Kawhi Leonard. He could have took the easy route and joined Anthony Davis and LeBron, but no, he said, I'd rather compete against them, and he was able to contact Paul George, as rumors has it, to be able to create some sort of dynasty. And to be honest with you, the Clippers front office looks a little bit more stable with the icon Jerry West and, of course, Doc Rivers leading the way. So it's going to be interesting out there in LA. Of course, the Lakers did well. They picked up Boogie Cousins and Rondo's, who's I think is an epitome of a point guard, great point guard. And they've got some other small pieces there. So the Lakers will be fine as long as LeBron, bounces back from injury, which I think he will. But the NBA has been bumping. It's just unfortunate. My New York Knickerbockers didn't do well. They spent a lot of loot on Randall, which I think is a waste of money. He had some good numbers, but the team didn't do well. So I don't think he's going to do well in New York. I think he's going to be an average player. Barrett looks okay in the Summer League game, but he's a long way away from dominating. So we got some issues there. Of course, Brooklyn, my hometown, stepped up with Kyrie and Kevin Durant, worth waiting, or let's say Kevin worth waiting Durant. And but they also had some good pieces prior to them. So I think that they're another playoff-bound season. And I like what Philly did. I like what Boston did to some degree, but I really like what Philly did. Bucks seem like they stayed status quo after losing some pieces. I don't know how strong they're going to be, but they got the MVP. Local team, the Wizards, didn't do much of anything. Be interesting to see if they trade Bradley Beal. So we'll see what happens there. They did pick up Isaiah Thomas, but if his hip is better, then one of those guys is expendable, whether it's Wall or Beal. And but that's the jury's out on Thomas, so whether or not he'll get it together. But it was a good season of moving around. So, kudos to those guys. I still don't understand the amount of money they get paid. I guess us, the fans, supporters of the NBA, are to blame for that. But it doesn't make sense somebody's getting $160 million, $140 million, $10 million, $20 million, and you're averaging 5 points a game, and you're getting $20 million to play basketball. The world is flipped upside down. I've said it 100 times. Don't make any damn sense that all this money is being put on these players, where we got people in this world starving and people in this world that can't see left or right. And I guarantee you, these players would play for $15,000 a game or a year if the money was available. Because let me tell you, if Dr. J and Larry Bird and Magic and Jordan, all of them paid for far less, way less, then what makes you think these guys wouldn't play for far less? A basketball player plays the game, and if he could be financially lucrative, that's fine. But I do, applaud the NBA Players Association for creating all these millionaires, especially people that look like me. It is a pathway to success. It'll just be interesting to see how and what they do with their money, and then how many people will be in their pockets, albeit agents, accountants, lawyers, who will also become millionaires because of these guys. So that's all I have to say about the NBA. It's an interesting time, and I hope the league sustains itself. I hope Larry Bird's quote, which is, just keep the league as you inherited the league when you came in, just keep it the same. The game will take care of itself. And Mr. Silver, great job as a commissioner. I think you're doing a great job allowing the players to have a little bit more freedom, to just be themselves. So it's all good. So who cares about my opinion? But I'm a basketball man, and so I had something to say. This is Booth's B-Ball Breakdown. Whether you agree with me or not, this has been a great off season, and I look forward to watching the NBA playoffs because I typically don't watch the games during the season. I just think those games are just, they're kind of going through the motions until the fourth quarter. So I prefer to watch college basketball. And then when the playoffs come around, I'm glued. So we'll see how it goes. Of course, I'll be paying attention to who's moving up and down the charts, but it doesn't matter until you get to the playoffs because nobody thought Toronto was going to win it. And Toronto shocked the world. So it's all good. And again, this is Booth's B-Ball Breakdown.